What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Grusby, and today I want to talk about a new anime series that is going to be coming soon. That is Eden's Zero. Now, before the big YouTube shakeup of 2019 and the way before time, I made a video or two on the manga for Eden Zero. It was something new from Hiro Mashima, and I was looking to kind of ride some of the Mashima hype a little bit. I was hoping that if I made some videos talking about Eden Zero, I'd get some views, and it kind of happened. I mean, seriously, all you had to do was name drop something about either Bleach or Fairy Tail or Naruto, and you would get some views. Sadly, it wasn't really the case with Eden Zero manga so much, because, I mean, if I talked about Fairy Tail speculation or Bleach speculation, that would get some views, but for some reason, the videos that I made talking about the Eden Zero manga, they never really went all that far, and as I was really overwhelmed with a lot of irons in the fire, trying to do discussion videos, topics, manga reviews, I kind of drifted away from the Eden Zero manga and kind of forgot about it. Just started focusing on other stuff. So over the past few years, the manga has now become this new anime series, and I'm wondering what I'm sure a lot of other people are wondering: is it going to be worth watching? Over the past several years, it seems a lot of long-running shonen anime shows they've ended up going out with less of a bang than when they started. I mean, I can still remember the hostility from the fan base over several incidences that happened in the Fairy Tail manga. I mean, two right off the top of my head was one, a certain character, I'm not going to name who, well, a couple of characters actually. But one in particular, one character just straight up gets dead, like blasted, and like a chapter or two later, oh, it's all better. They're fully restored. They're back to life. And this had been something that I think had happened a couple of times in the Fairy Tail manga. And the fans were just kind of tired of having their heartstrings tugged, their feet kicked out from underneath them, and they rightly rioted a little bit. And then there was the infamous, and my mind is still kind of blown as to what the actual F that chapter had anything to do with anything. It was the infamous who has had carnal relations chapter. That's the only way I can put it. There was a chapter where a villain utilizes some ability on all of the, I think it's on all of the heroes, and everyone who has done the deed ended up writhing in some sort of deathly ecstasy. That's the only way I can put it. I could be wrong. There could have been another explanation that has happened, more information that has come out about that, but it seemed like that's the direction they were going, and it really kind of threw a bucket of cold water on a lot of the fans. So, needless to say, the Fairy Tail manga has had its share of problems. And over the past several years, it seems that lots of these long-running shonen anime have ended up just kind of going out with this quiet little, they haven't gone out, they haven't ended on the high note that they started off with. Now, as for the anime, the upcoming anime that for Eden Zero, because we're not talking about Fairy Tail. God, I could spend a lot of time talking about Fairy Tail, but as for the Eden Zero manga, speaking entirely for myself, I got kind of overburdened by the tropish shonen thing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. After 21 years of watching anime, the tropes just don't do it for me anymore. They all but physically hurt me at this point. Whenever I see an anime and there's a trope that just gets thrown in there for the sake of throwing it in there rather than thinking through something or better writing, it just bothers me. And it's one of those things that I still haven't been able to bring myself to watch the final season of a lot of anime. Specifically, I haven't been able to bring myself to watch the final season of Fairy Tail, and you got to know, Fairy Tail is one of my top tier favorite shonen anime. So now we have this new show that's probably going to be a long running series. And as someone that hasn't kept up with a manga, hasn't bothered to finish the last thing that Hiro Mashima was working on, or even who knows where the fandom still stands at this point, I have to ask, is this going to be worth watching? Is it going to be worth it? Or will this be another long-running shonen series that we invest years into, and then it's just going to whimper out of existence by the time it gets to its final episode? I've never really placed a significance on an anime's running time. I'm all for more of a show. I mean, give me 26 episodes of a series any day, and I will love it. I mean, to me, an ideal run time for a series is about 24 to 26 episodes. I can agree that there are some shows that should not be longer than probably 12 or 13 episodes, but I think 26 episodes is a good round number. And on the reverse side of that, I'm not saying that there aren't long-running shows that end badly. I'm speaking for myself here when I say that more often than not, I've lost interest in a show before it makes it to the end. Whether that's because I get irritated with where the show is going, I get overwhelmed by the daunting task of trying to keep up with something that's years worth of an investment, or just because I get distracted by something somewhere else that's all shiny and sparkly. I mean, I do like my shiny stuff. I know the fans haven't always seen eye to eye with mangaka, when it comes to a manga versus an anime, or when it comes to a creator and their work, because at a certain point, a fandom takes a kind of ownership of the thing that they're the fan of, and it becomes this, you've made this for me, but you're not delivering what I want, you're doing what you want, and many times it feels like the fans and the creator often clash. I do know that there are a lot of fans who are looking at the characters of Eden Zero and are very skeptical, considering it looks like a series with rehashed characters. And as someone that's read the first, like 3 or 4 chapters of the manga, I mean, I can at least say that isn't so much the case. And it's worth pointing out that most naysayers probably aren't fans of Fairy Tail or Hiro Mashima. I mean, this isn't the first time we've had a series that has used the same characters, even characters with the same name, and just given them completely different personalities, completely different lives, and put them in a completely different universe. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking of My Hime versus My Otome. They're the same characters, but it's like watching them in 2 completely different shows. As for myself, I'm hesitant to dive into another potentially long-running shonen, but I have to admit that I am hugely fascinated by the anime regardless. It looks interesting, and who knows, if I make some videos talking about Eden Zero, I might get some views on the channel, and hey, you know what? That's always a good thing, right? But I would like to hear what you think of the upcoming anime for Eden Zero. Is this something that you're going to be interested in watching? Have you followed the manga at all? Are you a fan of the manga? Are you still a fan of Hiro Mashima at all? Did Fairy Tail just kind of drop the ball and you're done? Take all of that, head to the comment section, and let's get some discussion going. Let me know all about it. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and end this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe for more videos. If you'd like to support the channel, by all means, head over to my Patreon. I've got a link in the description down below. You can donate as little as $1. I'll get a coffee, and I'll get right back to work making more videos like this. You can also follow me over on Twitch, where I do a lot of live streaming. And I'd love to have you over there as well. Have an amazing day. Keep being awesome. And I will see you all in the next video.